Ladies and gentlemen, people with jobs, people without jobs, middle class, upper class, high class, all that.
For Dragging the Line podcast, I'm your host with the most, One More Sanchez, and today we have a very special episode.
As y'all know what it is, we're giving y'all 5 seconds to go get your drink so we can sound a whole lot better.
He was number
One. From Dragging the Line podcast, I'm your host with the most, One More Sanchez, and joining me today is bantamweight contender Ramon Dinamita Cardenas, fighting out of San Antonio by way of Monterrey, Mexico. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, bud. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for making the time as well. So you've been a professional for how long? How many years now?
I think this would be my 6th year as
6
a professional, yes.
Do you have a memory that sticks out in your head from the first day that you fought your first professional fight?
I do. It was in 2008. It was like August 8th of 2008. And I was at the Ringside World Championships. I was a novice at the time, and I didn't really – at the time, it was my first fight at the national tournament, so it was like sparring and fighting is a completely different ball game. So when I went out the first round, I did bad, and I got, like, in a sense, I got almost shell-shocked.
Uh-huh.
And then my coach, may he rest in peace, my coach at the time, he told me, yo, you're losing. You got to throw punches. So then I went out and I just threw and I just threw as many punches as I possibly could. And then I did that the second, the third round. And at those times, you're fighting 1 minute. So it's like nonstop throwing. So then I just threw nonstop punches, man. And then the fight ends. And then my coach looks at me, he's like, you did good. He's like, he told me if it was a street fight, you would have beat this guy up. And then I won. I still won the fight, but I looked horrible compared to now. But that's probably one of the memories that I have that was it always sticks out of my brain that I just started throwing punches, man. Like, it was like,
did you everything that you prepared that moment for training, did it just all go out of the window? Because you all right, man.
I had a whole game. We know the coach that I had at the time, he liked to prepare us, and all of us had a different game plan going in, like a different style that we would all fight. And that whole game plan just went out the window, man. And yeah, I always remember that.
And what kind of boxing style do you consider yourself?
To be completely honest, man, I feel like you have to switch it up. You're going to go into the fight trying to fight a certain way because every fight is different. You might fight a guy who you're trying to box him, but yeah, he's trying to box you. You have to switch the plan and you have to say, okay, you know what? I have to put the pressure on because this guy, he might be a little bit quicker than me to the jump. So I feel like you have to adapt to each situation, and it's not so much, oh, I'm gonna fight how I always fight. No, yeah, that's ultimately the plan, but at the same time you have to be able to adapt, and it's not so much I'm gonna just do what I know. You have to be able to, and I think at the world class level, really, you have to be able to adjust. And that's mainly the thing.
And out of the 6 years that you've been in the game, how many trainers have you had, just off the top of your head?
To be completely honest, dude, I've always been the type, and people who know me can quote me on this, I've always said I'm gonna go where I feel it's gonna help me. I've never been shy to say, yo, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there, or I'm gonna travel here, I'm gonna travel there, man. But for the past 4 years, I was training with Barry Hunter. My last fight, I trained with a guy in San Antonio named Tony Luna. And then I always had my coach, my original coach. I always had him not so much on standby, but it was like, yo, whenever I needed him to train me, he would be willing to train me. And then so that was the thing. I would say I've had 3-4 coaches in the past couple of years, because like I said, man, I've never been shy to go out there, man, and really explore the horizons, because hey, man, I feel like it's like a job.
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain level at a job and there's no more, then you're like, okay, on to the next job. I have to find something better, find a better paid job, or find a job that's going to make me advance better. And so that's how I've always been, man. I've never been shy to go here, go there, or learn from different people. And that's, at the end of the day, boxing is really short. If you really look at a boxer's career, you got maybe a good 10 years. And a professional, you got maybe good 10 years to solidify your career or solidify who you are going to be in boxing, and solidify, in a sense, your family, you know what I'm saying? Like, financially. And so why am I going to waste those 10 years trying to find something that maybe might not be there with a certain trainer? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was bringing that to your attention because As a professional, when you go into the ring and you have different cornerman trainers, something that you said that's very different that I heard is that you're willing to accept and move up at a certain limit that only the trainer can take you. How is it? How were you able to adapt to the different styles? Like when you go from fight to fight, because sometimes I'm taking they have completely different training, right? And schedules. Yeah.
I personally, I'm the type of guy, dude, that when I come to like training camps or when I come to with other trainers, I was taught as a boxer, I was taught to do what you're told. In the sense of my trainer used to tell us that we're gonna run 1 mile. Like my goal used to be 1 mile in 5 minutes and 55 seconds.
Oh damn.
My teammates would be at 6 minutes or 6:30, and then everybody else would be. We would from there we would run one lap in less than a minute and 10, 15 seconds. So where I'm going with this is I was taught up to do what you're told. So in a sense, to this day, man, if the trainer I'm working with now, Jose Guzman, tells me, yo, we got to be at the gym at this time, I'm there. And I'll stop everything what I'm doing just to go to the gym. You know what I mean? And so I feel like when you have that in your head, yo, like, I got to just follow this man and just trust in his instincts and trust what he's saying, then I think you'll be just fine. And obviously, everything that you've been through as a boxer, or in a sense, like me, everything I've been through as a boxer, and kind of led me to know this. Yo, like sometimes you gotta trust the people that you're with, and then that's what it is. You have to trust them, and you gotta trust their word, and just follow them. Sometimes follow them blind. You just do it.
We touched base in the very beginning about the corner man, and you mentioned your very first fight, how your coach was like, dude, you're losing that round. How important is your corner? Could they be the deciding factor on points if you go the distance? If they're not telling you, hey, échale ganas, or you down by 2 rounds, how important is that?
I think as a fighter, man, it's important. It's like anything. Let's put it this way. It's like a racetrack, right? You the guys who do the racetracks. If you got the guy who puts the wheel, but you don't have the guy who's drilling in the little things, then the wheel's gonna fall off. You know what I'm saying? In boxing, it's, yo, you need that guy to tell you, yo, you're doing good, but yet you could do better. So in a sense, yo, this round is coming up, 11, 12 round. You need to lock them in the bag. Yo, you're losing. You need to pick it up. And also knowing your fighter, knowing the type of person your fighter is, and the type of personality he is. Because there's some people who check in. They're losing a fight, you see 10th round, 11th round, and they check in. But you got to know that within your fighter. You know what I'm saying? You have to know that in your fighter to see that. And so I think, personally, me, I've always been the type to have a corner and like a corner that's really, in a sense, really honest. Because that's, at the end of the day, you're playing with your life. You're playing with your life, and you have to be honest. Yo, bro, you got one more round, man. In one round, I don't see nothing. I'm stopping this fight because there's no point of you even continuing, because the fight's not gonna change. You know what I mean? And so I think, yeah, honestly, you need just honesty in the corner. You need honesty and someone who's gonna care for your well-being, not so much just as a fighter, but just as a person in general.
I know you were out of the ring for over a year. When you came back to fight, was it tougher because it's like you lost that year? Or were you able just to go back in there and pick up from where you left off?
Yeah. No, I think it's because, again, dude, it's one of those things where in the amateurs, sometimes you wouldn't fight in a whole year. You would come back and you had to fight. It was 3-minute rounds, three rounds, 3-minute rounds. Like, it's one of those things where you have to fight. And I feel like when you have an amateur experience, really is one of those things where maybe it'll take you 1 or 2 rounds to get back in the groove. And once you're in the groove, okay, there's no more ring rust, or there shouldn't be no more ring rust. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially if you have the experience, to go out there and 1 or 2 rounds and you'll be just fine. Do I think I had a ring rust? Yeah, maybe the first 2 rounds, but yo, it's an 8-round fight, man. I can't lose. Like, I have to say, man, can't psych myself out and be like, oh, it's because I was ring rust. Nah, bro, you gotta go in and you gotta fight your fight, and in a sense, like, F the ring rust. You know what I'm saying? That's the last thing that goes into your brain. Like, that should be the last thing to go into your head, really. Oh nah, man. Like, you just gotta go in and fight. My last fight, I did 8 rounds, and I think, I don't know if you've seen the fight, but I did 8 solid rounds. It wasn't no rounds and I fought a guy who could fight. After a year and something off, I fought a guy who can fight. And I told my management, yo, I don't want to fight a guy who's just I'm gonna hit him 1 time, 2 times, and he's gonna go down. No, I want to fight somebody who's gonna push me And yeah, we fought a guy, and it was crazy because I fought him, and people were like, "Oh, he's a bum." And then there's a prospect kid who's 8-0, 7 KOs, got a draw with him, and for him that was a step up. And I'm like, "Yo, like what the?" In my mind, I'm like,
Different styles, right? It's the
yeah.
styles. You have one defeat. How did you take it? And then once you were able to overcome that, how were you able to keep it moving? And what did you learn from it?
Really, it was a tough story. I had to lose like 10 pounds in a matter of 3-4 days.
Ooh.
And this was my immaturity of not knowing, not so much not knowing, but not following my diet how I was supposed to. So the last 3 days, I had to lose that amount of weight. And then the night before, so I fought, I think it was like a Tuesday. Saturday, I stayed up Sunday to because I hate morning flights, like 5 a.m. flights, because I can't sleep. Because I'm like, oh, dude, I don't want to lose my flight. So I stayed up from Saturday night all the way to Sunday morning. I flew out to San Antonio Sunday. I packed my clothes. I tried to sleep, but you never really recuperate. When you stay up at night, it takes you at least a few days for you to feel good again. So Monday I drove to Mexico. No, actually Monday I flew to Mexico, to Monterrey, and Monday I weighed in. But that Monday night, again, my immaturity, I ate a burger. It was my fault. I went and I ate like I was good. But instead of drinking water and eating properly, I decided to do the complete opposite. That Tuesday morning, I woke up and I was still the same weight, but I felt like so bad. Like I felt so horrible. And I was like, man. And I talked to my dad and he's like, yo, you still want to fight? Like, you don't feel good and you look pretty terrible. And I'm like, no, I'm going to fight. Like, my family's here and I've trained hard already for this. Going into the fight, second round, I hurt my right hand. I hit him right in the head and I hurt it and I couldn't use it. And so basically everything that could go wrong in that fight went wrong. And I got a majority decision loss. Do I think it was a loss? Even at that, I don't even feel like I lost. You know, I don't know if there's film on the fight. I'm pretty sure my dad has some, but it was one of those things where in the amateurs, I lost 20-something times. Do I feel like it did backtrack my career a bunch? I'll tell you that, because at that time, I was ranked maybe top 100. Nah, I was like 120, like in the top 120s, 100 to 120, and I was barely 12-0. So I thought that was a good, in a sense, a good pace where I was headed. It did backtrack a lot, but at the same time, it did show me a lot. It showed me that, like you can't really be too immature at this. You got to be more serious and take my training a little bit more serious. Take the dieting. That's the main thing, really, because like I tell people, you're dieting for 1 month nonstop. You're dieting nonstop, and then all of a sudden you want to eat a burger. That's gonna mess up your stomach. Your stomach's gonna go like it's just gonna mess up your whole stomach.
It's like eating a burrito or something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's, let's say you do this. You go and you're just drinking water nonstop, nonstop water. And then all of a sudden you want to put Kool-Aid in there or a soda. Then you're like, I feel bloated. It's the same thing. And so that taught me to be more serious when it comes to my career. And back to your second question of what was your second question again?
How did you overcome that? Like, what did you learn from it?
I mean, yeah, I learned just to be more serious with my career. That it wasn't so much a game anymore. It wasn't so much just something that you like to do and you like to travel and you like to go to the tournaments, and it's a job. At the end of the day, it's a job. I overcame it by really just going back to the gym, not really beating myself up for it. You know what I'm saying? The legends have lost. Greats have lost. Muhammad Ali has lost. Manny Pacquiao has lost. Juan Manuel Marquez have lost. Many legends have lost. So why am I going to say, oh, my career's done when it just started? I was 21 at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why I was going to turn 22. But I was still young. In my mind, I'm like, I'm like, why am I going to throw my career away just because I have one loss? It doesn't make sense. So I just really kept at it, and I touched roots with who I was as a person. And you have to, in a sense, this sport, you have to be real honest with yourself and know who you are as a person. And I told myself, I'm not a quitter. That's one thing. I'm not a quitter. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna finish it out. And I just kept going, man. I just went back to I took like maybe 3 weeks off to recuperate from some swelling I had in my eye. And after that, man, I was right back in the gym. And then I fought 5 months after.
Dang, back picked up where you left off. Yeah. I mean, Yeah, and if you were a quitter, you wouldn't be where you're at now. It's as a professional, how are you able to stay in touch with your friends or family members? Do those kind of dwindle down until you're really like off training, or do you still keep in contact with your close family and
I
friends?
personally, man, you have to have a balance with everything in life. It's not so much just boxing. You have to have a balance. I've always tried to balance my family and my loved ones' time as much as boxing. I've tried to be more family orientated. When as you get older, you realize loved ones of yours are getting older, and you realize that I might not have that much time with them. Boxing is a very like rigorous sport. It demands not so much the physical, the mental and the emotional state too. I moved from San Antonio to Orlando for some time so that way I could focus solely on just boxing. Yes, I'm not gonna be able to see my family, but they understand that this is what I have to do. And in order to accomplish my dreams and accomplish what I want to do, that's a sacrifice that they understand that I have to do. And it's not easy, man. My sister's gonna have a baby soon. I'm gonna have a niece, and maybe not being there for her to be born is gonna suck. But at the same time, I wasn't there for my second nephew to be born, and they understand that. They understand, like I'm not over here just in a sense on vacation. You know what I mean? I'm over
Yeah.
here like just how y'all have y'all lives. I'm trying to get my life under. I'm trying to get my life situated and trying to accomplish what I want to do. Everybody has their own dreams, their own goals in life. After a fight, I'll go back home for maybe a few month or two, and then I'm right back to training. Or even then, I'm over there training. But you know what I mean? When I have to
Yeah.
like leave for camp.
Mm.
So that, yeah.
Hey, Ramon, real quick before I let you go, I'm just gonna put you on the spot. Quick questions, quick answers, okay?
Yeah.
How did you get the nickname Dinamita?
Off of Juan Manuel Marquez. That's one of my favorite fighters. So I just was like, you know what? I like the name, and I'm gonna stick with that. From being young, I would stop people in the amateurs constantly, and stop people in sparring and stuff like that. So I just ran with the name, and I said, you know what? I like it, and I just kept the name.
Do you have a favorite memory from Juan Manuel Marquez?
Yes, when he knocked out Manny Pacquiao.
I think everybody.
Yeah, no,
All
but
the Mexicans, man. I think,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But it was a crazy situation because I was at Buffalo Wild Wings with my brother and a buddy of mine, and so in the bar they were having, but yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings at the time they would have the boxing fights. And
uh-huh.
at the bar, everybody was at the bar. A lot of people were at the bar, and the families were in the lobby, and we were in the lobby. We were just chilling. Then all of a sudden, when they knocked him out, everybody's oh, but there was Pacquiao fans in the bar. So then they started fighting and stuff,
No doubt.
and the manager was like, "Everybody, if y'all please, just," and he said this, he's just leave and don't pay nothing. Just please leave. Do not do nothing. Just if everybody can leave right now, then the tab's on us. And bro, the tab was free, so everybody just left. The fight was over, everybody left. So that's probably when he knocked him out. But there's a backstory why that's my favorite memory. It was like we were there for a while. When you're gonna watch the fights, you're there for
4 or 5
3
fights.
hours. So you're there for a few hours, man. And we were there for a while. We were just eating nonstop and sodas and refills and wings. And so they ended up giving us the free food, and that was probably really cool. That was like one of the coolest things.
It's funny you say that because my wife is Filipina and Hawaiian. So when that fight happened, it was like half her family, and then my family's from Mexico City, so it's like half, right? So I take my dad, and we're watching the fight in the living room. When that happens, we all jump. It's like we won the fucking World Cup. Like, I love Elias. And my wife, dude, she was just sitting there just pissed. I'm glad that happened, that fight, and then he was done. Like, you left on top. Is there any word when you might have your next fight?
Right now, I'm training. From what I've heard, hopefully all goes well. Fingers crossed. I'll be fighting August 14th, and that's like I said. Hopefully, if not, we'll just really see. At this point in my career, it's one of those things where you have to make the best moves possible and fight the best people possible. And I feel like I'm getting to the level where it's not so much pick and choose who you want to fight. You have to fight. So I think right now, August 14th is when the next fight for sure is gonna happen.
I thank you for your time. Let the whole camp know I said what's up over there, man.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Y'all doing good things over there. I see y'all.
Thank you so much, man. It was nice talking to you, brother.
I love it. Appreciate it.